This is going to be a recording on numbers in the mind. And the concept of this is that if somebody were to give you two numbers, by projecting the numbers into a third number, which you add up the two numbers that they give you, and bringing it down to a triangle. And you can learn to do this in your mind. You don't have to actually put it on paper, but you got to practice it a little bit, as well as on paper. And you could actually tell them what the major thing that they're either thinking of or that's happening, even if they're not aware of it as much as they should be, and the outcome of it. Now, what I used to do, which you have to have a lot of confidence, is when you see somebody, you think of the two numbers. I'm giving you this as a possibility, but not to do it in the beginning. I'm very experienced. And from those two numbers that that come into your mind when you look at somebody, if you tell them what the numbers are, what the meaning of the numbers are, and how you project those numbers into the triangle, the upside down triangle or pyramid, you will be surprised how you'll come into what they're dealing with now and what will be. So I'm going to go over some of this and I'll explain it as I go. Now, the first number we're looking at is, let's say they would give you 62. So if you add up 6 and 2, you get 8. So now we're dealing with the number 628. So if you put 628 into a triangle, and if you add up the 6 and the 2, you bring it down, you have an 8. If you add up the 2 and the 8, you get a 10. 1 and 0 is 1. And if you add up 81, you get 9. Now, what 9 represents is endings, people, places, and activities going out of their life. What 62 represents is a financial matter. And it's represented by the planet Saturn in Capricorn or February or Aquarius. So also people born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th day of any month. But what 28 means here is there's some question about trust. And 62 means the same old thing. If it was 26 instead of 62, 26 is opportunities and reorganization. That is a very positive thing. But 62 means same old thing. This means 81 means resolving a problem. And the 9 is finishing or completing or ending a situation. So there's some kind of a financial situation. There's a question of trust or dependability of somebody resolving the problem and deciding either not to do it or to just get things done or done with. And it would be affected by January or Capricorn people or February or Aquarius people, as well as those born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th day of any month. So the way we determine Capricorn or Saturn is we take the 62, because they gave us two numbers. You determine the planet and the numbers by only the two numbers. If they were to give you three numbers, then you'd add up all three, and that would determine the planet or the numbers or whatever. Now, if they gave you a number 51, or if you thought 51 when you saw somebody, it becomes a 51-6. 5 and 1 is 6, and you add the 6. So then you take 5 and 1 is 6, and 1 and 6 is 7, and 6 and 7 is 13 or 4. So 4 is on the bottom. Now, 4 has to do with a change in activities or a routine or structure. A 67 relates to 6 and 7 is 13. That relates to a change in place and plans. The number, when you break it down to 13 before the 4, there's a change in place and plans. Now the 51 relates to Venus, which is either Taurus or October or Libra people, May or Taurus or October or Libra, and those born on the 6th, 15th, or 24th day of any month. Now, I explained in a previous video that 51 is getting ahead, but there's always a rival or an adversarial situation. And I talked about the numbers of Lincoln, who was the president that got ahead, won the Civil War, and then got assassinated. Nothing that drastic would happen, but it's an example. Now, if they gave you 92, you go 9 and 2 is 11, which is 2, and it gives you another 2. So now you add up 9 and 2 is 11, you put a 2. 2 and 2 is 4, and 2 and 4 is 6. So you have 6 at the bottom of the triangle, which relates to family or personal situation or news. Now, 92 is when you can trust somebody. If it was 29, you can't trust them. So you can trust somebody, and there's a lot of emotions going on, because when you get 2 2s, the 2 means the moon. And in this one setup, you have 3 2s. And 24 equals the assistance or association of well-known or important people. And there's some kind of a family or personal news. So it has to do with somebody you can trust. There's very emotions, somebody who helps you out or assists you that's well known. And it's affected because you go 9 and 2 is 11, but it's a moon, which is 2, which is July or Cancer, February Aquarius, and those born on the 2nd, 11th, 20th, or 29th day of any month, which is the 2 series. Now, if we thought, or they gave us the number 75, this may be something that the number you come up with when you look at somebody. Don't even think about them that much. Just come up with a number in your mind. Look at them, and you'll be surprised what you'll come out with. Now, if you take 7 and 5, it's 12, which is a 3, and 5 and 3 is 8. In other words, we're always bringing it down to the lowest number by addition. There's no subtraction. And when you talk 38, it's 2. 3 and 8 is 11, and 1 and 1 is 2. So we're bringing it down to the lowest number by addition. Now, 2 has to do with partnerships, relationships, or females. So 2 relates to either partners or females. And 75 is sacrifice of one's plans to the plans or problems of somebody else. And 53 means usually something local or within your circle. And 38 means you and a partner, or in this situation, the person and a partner understand each other, but there's a lot of emotions and somebody feeling like they're being used or victimized, because the 2 on the bottom has to do with a lot of sensitivity. Now, the 7 and 5 is 12, which is the 3 series, which is Jupiter, which is December Sagittarius, and March or Pisces, and those born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of any month. Now, just to go into a few other things, okay, here's 53, let's say, and 5 and 3 is 8. So 5 and 3 is 8, you bring down the 8, 3 and 8, as we explained, is 2, and then it has 1 on the bottom. Now, 1 on the bottom is more independence or recognition. It's upward or out type of thing, which could be independence, but usually there's some kind of recognition of some kind going on there too. Now, 53 is a realignment of money, and it's basically a January or a Capricorn situation, or a February or Aquarius. And like I said, 8, 17, or 26 day, and it's ruled by the planet Saturn. And 82 means you could trust somebody. If it was 28, you can't trust somebody. And 38 means you and somebody else agree, but there's always some helping somebody else or fitting somebody else into a situation with the 38. When I used to do readings, I used to have a chart, and if you look under Alan Vee, the chart showed all these little triangles. I would come up with somebody's cycle and then go into the triangle, and I can just look at the triangle and give you all the events coming up. But I'm going to go into this in a lot more detail how you can triangulate a year or a month or whatever and come up with some pretty good predictions for people. Now, if they were to give you the number 19, you go 1 and 9 is 10, which is 1. So you wind up with 191. You drop the 1. 1 and 9 is 10 is 1. 9 and 1 is 10 is 1. And then you come up with a 2. And I often said when a 2 is comprised of two ones, the person's trying to get people to fit their situation or their life. The person doesn't really fit, but they're trying to get them. And 19 is the number of the sun, and it's usually matters start clearing up in people's lives, and it relates to August or Leo in February or Aquarius, and those born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, or 28th of any month. And again, 2 on the bottom means a person feels either victimized or used or too sensitive or whatever. But I'm going to be going into more of these patterns and concepts. I'm also a theorist, and I actually invent a lot of this. When I say invent, I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I've used all these things, and people were amazed at what I came up with. So I'm going to go into more. I hope this is useful for everybody.